What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Tuesday, y'all. Good morning, El Cid. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get straight into it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. So we can get over here and have these conversations. It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Are y'all doing tacos today? I don't know. Maybe. It might be a plan. You know what I mean? It's easy. I could go ahead and get all the preparations done, and set out various forms of shells, flour tortillas, corn tortillas, nachos. Let the people, do what they want to do, make their own taco situation. So I don't know. It's a possibility. I hadn't thought about it yet, but now that I'm talking about it, maybe I'll go ahead and Taco Tuesday myself today. What y'all doing? I'm fully caffeinated. So now I'm following up with the H, the 2, and the O, and I'm here to talk to y'all. What's the moment? The message of the day? Grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil, and seeds grow in the darkness. Whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed, or in darkness, you're in a powerful place of transformation and transmutation. Trust the process. I have to stay in that mindset a lot of the times. I feel like that's what keeps us from breaking as people. I mean, some people break, then you find yourself running around in the streets, in your underpants, rambling. That's a different situation. Shout out to Martin. But I feel like and in these times that we're living in, we that benefited from all the hard work that was put in by the people that came before us are now in a position to do the work that they were doing, civil rights and everything. And it's a lot of pressure, and it's dark, and all the things. So I feel like during these times, it's important for us to keep that mindset. We can't allow the system to break us. We have to go ahead and trust the process, and not the process that's before us as government, but the process of moving forward in life. We're not about to break. So that's where we're going to start. Yeah. And, let's get into the things, the conversations that bring us here from day to day, things that we can talk about that inspire us, things that are, excellent, things that are history, things that are a little bit of celebrity gossip and a little bit of current events. We're going to start right here. Meet Shirexia. I don't know if I'm saying that. We're going to call her Rexy. Rexy Roll, a 35-year-old Black woman running a Black-owned airline, a Black-owned airline in Bahamas. At 35, Rexy Roll is running a Black-owned airline in the Bahamas. She's not just building a business. She's building a Black legacy, Black leadership, Black ownership. This is what happens when Black women refuse to play small. This is what generational wealth looks like. This is the visibility Black businesses deserve. She's in the Bahamas, but I'm going to go ahead and, because they didn't give you a whole lot. They just introduced this young lady. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit more information. Good morning, T. Are you doing tacos today? I think I'm doing tacos. I think I'm going to go ahead and do Taco Tuesday. So when I'm done here, I got to go to the store. Maybe you could ride to the store with me and we can discuss what we going to, cook for. Oh, that's not what I wanted to share. What we going to cook for dinner tonight? We over here talking about this lady, Rexy. Her name is Rexy Roll. Rexy Roll was over here, creating generational wealth, or being part of, what's been created as generational wealth. So let's look at her. This is her socials. We can see who she is. She's a beautiful lady, and very much accomplished. So is, far more than just her owning an airline. Rexy Roll serves as president, CEO, and general counsel at Western Air, the largest privately owned airline in the Bahamas. She is a Andros native from North Mastic Point. I don't know where that is. I'll have to look at the map. If she's an airline in Bahamas, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably the Caribbean. But Bahamas got so many islands. Anyway, for 9 years, she serves as VP of Operations and General Counsel, superheading the airline's notable growth with fleet and route expansions, business development, and pushing key customer preferred services. As an aviation, a corporate attorney, Rexy continues to oversee the legal regulatory affairs of the airline, representing Western Air to a relevant aviation and government authorities and commercial negotiations and transactions. Yeah, you got to be smart to do all that. That's why she went over here and got her law degree so she could be able to conversate. Shout out to Amber Rose. We ain't gonna shout her out. So she gonna be able to converse with these people. Rexy's modern people first approach to leadership reflects both her personal and professional commitment to her 280 member team and 350,000 value passengers they serve each year. That's a lot. Rexy has been featured in Forbes, Essence, Condé Nast. I guess that's how you say it. Condé Nast, BET News, Travel Noir, Brand Ends, and many other media outlets around the globe for her work in the airline industry and growing up in the unique aviation family business founded by her parents. So this is, generational. Captain Rex role and Chandrese Woodside role in 2000. Rexy received her Bachelor of Science at the University of Ottawa, which honors political science and communications, and her master's in Lynn University at Mass Media and Communications. Summa cum laude, she obtained her Juris Doctorate in San Diego, California, and is licensed to practice in California, Washington, D.C., and the Bahamas. Rexy recognizes God as the foundation of her success. Outside of work, she can be found creating music, dancing, traveling, and continuing her philanthropic efforts. So, yeah, here's Miss Lexi, beautiful lady, living out, look at there, in front of her jet. Her mother and father put her in position. And you can see, she got a lot of lifestyle things over here. I love that. She's not just running an airline. She's literally, educated herself to the point where, she don't need y'all out here to handle it for her. Imagine those conversations. And, based on what we got going on over here, people are not going to want to travel over here. So we don't need it. I think, it's important for us, even though she's not from here, I think it's important for us to see, what the possibilities are, and that we ain't got to stay here necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they'll do with it when all the culture is gone and they can sit over here and, eat each other, because that's what they do. Anyway, they know who they are. So, if it ain't you, then don't worry about it. Shout out to Lexi. Public service announcement. Donald Trump said he won't enforce lockdowns or fall for fake hantavirus pandemics. We've been here before. This is no surprise. Trump claimed that the far left wants to use fear to take away freedom from people around the world. People around the world don't even like him. His comments are already sparking major debate online as concerns about hantavirus cases continue to spread across headlines and across states. I think I seen Atlanta, people were over there infected, and I saw Maryland on the list. So we've been here before. We know how this starts. So I don't know how to prepare. Get your toilet paper, start stocking on that, because we know that was a damn issue. Go out there, start buying your toilet paper, because we won't have to be over here fighting for toilet paper. And I don't mean be out here, buying cases and cases of toilet paper, but go ahead. Now would be a good time to stock up. Run through Costco and get your toilet paper game up. Um, this statement is now fueling another political clash over public health, government control, and how future outbreaks should be handled. Well, we know this is not what he does. He's drinking bleach and whatever the hell he was doing over there. So, like I said, what did we learn from the last time? Get your toilet paper and get you some canned goods and things that you can stock up on. Go ahead and throw a mask. Throw a mask in your car, in your purse, in case you're somewhere publicly and you're not feeling comfortable. Just follow your instincts. If you're feeling all right, then you're feeling all right. If you're feeling uncomfortable, then you got a mask. You ever get somewhere and you be like, I don't know, these people, no, let me throw my mask on. So throw one in your purse, in your pocket, wherever you need to go, because if we ain't taking care of us, they're not going to. If we have to budget, you don't get much toilet paper. What you mean? We gonna be handing out squares? Here go your squares. What you got to do? Number one, number two, number one. Here go a couple of your squares. Get your what do they call it? Bidet. Get you a homemade bidet situation where you can, spray your behind off and, not use up all the toilet paper. I'm just saying, these are things. Remember, we was running around. We couldn't find no toilet paper, paper towels. Get your cleaning supplies, because we're going to be spraying a lot of things down. I'm not necessarily worried about, wearing no plastic gloves. Even I do that at work. But, get your hand sanitizer. We know the routine. Let's don't sit around here and wait on things to, happen. Trusting these clowns to look out for the things we need. So, child, we trying to get up out of here on the airline, and they trying to keep us down with the cooties. Speaking of medical, I like when I find a little medical situation, especially when it's online. So it says, after his sister and aunt died from pregnancy-related complications, Mohammed Kamara developed InnovaCares, a virtual gynecology platform designed to provide culturally aligned healthcare for women of color. We take any avenues that are offered to us. If we're not feeling comfortable, you can go online and reach out to people that cater to women of color, provide health care for women of color. It says in 2017, Mohammed Kamara experienced a tragic loss of his sister and aunt due to pregnancy-related complications. Motivated by these personal tragedies, he found InnovaCares, a virtual gynecology platform dedicated to providing culturally aligned healthcare for women of color. I think this is a great thing. InnovaCares. So, put that in your little app store or whatever. So if you have, or if you know someone, that's pregnant, pass the information along, because we don't know about these tools until we know about these tools. So be sure to share it. This first comment kind of irritated me because it's always somebody who's gonna miss the whole damn point. So this lady says Black women are dying at 4 times the national rate, not women of color. Does this help Black women and our unique needs or not? I feel like this lady is, being purposely opaque. Lady, we every day we see how using the word Black can be counterproductive for what we need. We have to change the verbiage around. We have to, just based on the way this government is working. So anything that says Black is going to be attacked. I feel like you could read between the lines, lady, and see what he's saying here. We got an opportunity to, another tool to communicate in terms of our medical care. You want to be over here talking about, is it Black women or women of color? Lady. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people, that agree. Say it again, sis. Y'all gonna be left behind. This ain't that. This is not the time to bring that argument. I'm so tired of the blatant erasure of Black women. This ain't that conversation. I can't believe that that's what y'all got from this. Out of all of that, what was said over here, you have this avenue of information, and you want to talk about the title. First of all, his platform is called Innova Cares. It doesn't say anything about Black. I'm gonna go back and click on it, see what it is, see, get a look at it. It doesn't say anything about Black. That's what this article is saying. And it chose the words women of color. Here's his Innova Cares. Here's his Instagram page. And it's basically, I guess, the same poster of things, but you can get the information that you need. There's a link tree over here. I don't need it, not at the moment, but I think it's important to spread the word. And I think it's counterproductive to be purposely obtuse about something. You're gonna reject it because they didn't say the word Black. They said it in so many words. And when you say people of color, the people of the other colors don't even consider themselves of color. So we right back to Black. So relax, lady. Y'all want to fight over stupid stuff. So this I find entertaining because YT people are always going somewhere, ignoring, y'all don't like Mexicans, but y'all want to travel to Mexico, on exotic vacations and things. And for y'all, people of color that are over there, I don't know how that's working out for y'all, but Mexico City nightclub charging Americans $300 entry fee while citizens from other countries get in for just $20. I think this is hilarious. I wouldn't pay $300, but I would wonder if my, entry fee is going to be based on, my American status or the color of my skin. Cause I feel like some of us might get a pass where some of y'all don't. Just saying. I don't know. It says a Mexico City nightclub in the Roma Norte neighborhood has gone viral over its tiered cover charge system. Apparently, the club called Japan, a club called Japan in Mexico. A club called Japan charges U.S. citizens nearly $300 for entry, while visitors from other countries pay around $20. Mexicans and other Latin American patrons have to pay roughly $14, and students and teachers pay even less. The nightclub's Instagram post framing the pricing as discounts for those who need it quickly spread online and drew thousands of reactions, with many users supporting the move. I think a lot of us do. I do. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't pay it, but I ain't mad at them for setting boundaries. It's not that we charge gringos. I ain't no gringo. It's not that we charge gringos more. It's that we offer discounts to people that need it, the post stated, while also noting citizens of the USA don't get a discount. I mean, I guess they got their reasons, child. Club owner Federico Crespo said pricing structure was intended as a response to a year of insults directed at us from the United States, as well as concerns over gentrification and rising living costs in Mexico City, driven in part by foreign arrivals. They said, you're not about to come gentrify their situation. They are doing just fine over there. And if y'all want to come participate, then it's going to cost you. Good morning, Jartoni. Black Americans too. I don't know. That's why I said if I went over there and I wanted to go to Club Japan, I would see what's up. They said gringos. So you know what they mean. And, I'm here for it. And like I said, if that's what they're doing to Black Americans too, it's cool. But, I don't have to go in, but I'm still not mad at them putting their foot down. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have a great reputation. And if we're traveling abroad, I feel like we should expect not to be welcome necessarily the same way we used to do before, this organization pissed everybody off. Now, this one right here, child, let me hear what y'all think. Mayor refuses to propose because girlfriend has $90,000 in debt. I make $250K. I have no debt. So work on that first. A woman called into a Dave Ramsey show and detailed how she needs help with getting out of $90,000 in debt in order to earn her. I must say her. It says how earn her wedding ring and financial trust of her partner before marriage. He already pays all the bills and wants her to use her money to become debt free before marriage. What is wrong with this? I'm not understanding what is wrong with this. So, the phone call over here with the doctor, this is the lady calling in, and then we'll, talk about it. This is his advice, the doctor.
150,000 a year, but he does not want to propose until I'm completely debt free.
Interesting.
You're not gonna like me. If you were my daughter, you want to know what I would tell you?
What?
Dump him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
He's making you prove your worth
based on money.
Yeah.
To
Is that
him.
what he's doing?
You're having to buy your way into this relationship. Nope. You're a princess and you deserve more than this.
The reason I've been able to put majority of my paycheck towards my loans is because he does pay for all our rent.
Oh, so you live together?
Yeah, we live together.
Oh, so you're already married, but you just didn't admit it.
Yeah, it does feel like we're married.
Well, that,
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. So what's his incentive to get married? None. The number one cause of divorce in North America today is money fights and money problems. And guess what this is? This is a money fight.
Yeah.
You're just not having it out loud. You're having it in your head.
My boyfriend makes $250,000 a year, but he does not want to propose until I'm completely debt free.
Interesting.
You're not gonna like me.
I mean, I feel like I don't think that's unreasonable. I'm sorry. Good morning, Miami Gardens. Now, I don't think that's unreasonable at all. I'm not understanding. He talking about he holding money over you. I think he paying all the bills, girl. He wants you to be financially responsible. If he marries you, then your debt is his debt, and he didn't make that debt. And you already living together. You're already reaping the benefits of marriage and having a partner. Somebody over here paying all the bills. I'm not understanding why. They're talking about he holding money over you and you should leave him. I don't think anybody should leave anybody. I think this girl should pay her damn bills. He's not saying he doesn't want to marry you. He's saying he doesn't want to go into a marriage with debt. So what kind of, this must be some, super Christian situation. Even if she doesn't stay with him, she'll be in debt for when she leaves. It's her debt. I'm just not understanding why this is a problem. I feel like this man is very smart. You know what I'm saying? We live together. I'm paying on the bills. Never in your life, well, not never, but you're in a position to go ahead and pay your debt off without being responsible for the day-to-day expenses. I'm wondering what kind of debt, how's she get $90,000? Is that from her education? She invested $90,000 into her education, and what's happening? I think this guy is smart. Don't take on someone else's debt. She's a nurse. Why can't she pay off her own debt? Well, he's gonna dodge a big problem. She's a nurse. She did say that, Motown investor. So yeah, what is going on? Like, she needs to break that down. 80,000 is a lot. And now, unfortunately, the nursing isn't even considered professional anymore. So yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how to make money, figure out how to go to school without any assistance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this guy is like their stand. You're a princess. You deserve my ass. He seems like he's treating her like a princess. You live here. I pay all the bills. All I'm asking is that and honestly, if he didn't have any intentions of marrying this lady, then he would not give a shit what her financial situation was. If he had no intention of making her his wife, You know what I mean? That he would not care what her credit situation looks like. He's doing her a favor. He's allowing space for her to be debt free. Exactly. And she's complaining. Yeah, don't marry her. She's the problem. It don't always be them. Sometimes it's us. And then on this one, I don't want to be us with her because I'm not stupid. I think that's like ridiculous that, you know, these people are over here on this show, Dr. Ramsey. I'm not familiar, but they're over here on Dr. Ramsey's show trying to make him out to be a bad guy for having expectations of, you know, marriage as the business. It ain't a good business decision. She got a $90,000 liability. No, don't do it. Don't do it, guy. And definitely don't listen to these people because they don't make no types of sense. Let's get into a little celebrity things. We moving around right along today. We about to get into these tacos on Tuesday. I stopped watching Summer House a while ago, and when they took Summer House Martha's Vineyard off, I definitely didn't go back. But I am familiar with Sierra. Sierra from Bravo's Summer House will co-host Love Island USA After Sun, according to Deadline. This is the same thing that happened with Ariana, and I did see her doing a commercial with Ariana. You know, Ariana was over there on Vanderpump Rules, and Tom Sandoval played in her face and it was exact same situation. Tom Sandoval had an affair with who she was calling her best friend. Now, Sierra was over here dealing with this boy, Wes. And same thing happened. It says the Summer House star will be hosting Peacock's dating series After Show alongside Tefi Pessoa. Miller has been hosting red carpet events and most recently was the commentator on E's coverage of the Met Gala. These broken-hearted girls get opportunities. I'm happy that this is happening for Sierra, but you know that's what she get for going over here and allowing these white boys to play in her face like that. So you know, as far as the heartbreak with Wes, I don't feel sorry for her for that. But I'm glad she getting a little more opportunities over here. The nurse and media personality has been a mainstay on Summer House since joining in season 5. That's about when I stopped watching, to be honest. Bravo's reality series has been in the midst of a whirlwind after co-stars Wesling Wilson and Amanda Batula confessed to being in a relationship. Miller was seemingly blindsided by both her ex Wilson and her best friend Batula and will confront them during the upcoming reunion. I might have to watch that reunion though. Miller was recently confirmed as part of the cast Dancing with the Stars season 35, which will also feature Traitors U.S. star Maura Higgins and previously hosted After the Sun. Oh, was Maura on After the Sun host? I don't remember because, you know, I only watched that one season of Love Island. With Miller co-hosting Love Island After Sun, it's unclear whether she will return to Summer House season 11, which generally starts filming in the weekend of July 4th and runs through Labor Day in September. Love Island USA season 8 is set to premiere on June 2nd and run through mid-July. Miller could very well still have time to join the Hampton set series weeks later. Let me show y'all. I don't know if y'all watch Summer House, but you know, this has been in the news. So let me show y'all these people. So this is her best friend, Amanda, and this is her ex, Wes. And I was mad at her, Sierra, for going over there and allowing this cowboy clown to enter into her space in the first place. But you know, this is what Sierra does. Season after season, there's some white boy over here that she's giving her attention to undeserved. And you know, anyway. So Amanda was over here, supposedly her best friend. I'm guessing on the show. Amanda was engaged and she was married. Her and her ex Kyle came on here and they were like the couple that hosted every season over in the Hamptons. And Kyle was a wild boy and Amanda finally managed to, you know, wrangle his wild self down into a marriage. And that lasted not very long. And so they going through a divorce. I don't even know if they're divorced yet, but she done already moved on to her best friend's ex-man, and that's where all the drama has ensued. So, like I said, I'm glad that Ciara is receiving these opportunities, but I'm tired of her over here, letting these white boys run, run her ragged down to the ground. So, yes, I'm gonna watch that reunion because the people been talking about it. It's a Bravo thing, leaked tapes and all kinds of things. And Ciara receiving opportunities over here on Bravo. We've got to get it while the getting is good, child, because the people said they was erasing black women. As if, what would they do? Oh, it's not nice to mess with Mother Nature. Here's another one. FKA Twigs set to play Josephine Baker in new biopic. I don't know anything about FKA Twigs besides I see her on the red carpet. I know she's often on the arm of a white boy, much like Ciara. So I don't know anything about her as an actress. I've never seen her anything that I know of. What I do see, though, is that she definitely resembles Josephine Baker. And I love the Josephine Baker story. So, yeah, I'm here for it, I suppose. Definitely looking at FKA, I can see Josephine Baker. Didn't Josephine Baker also, wasn't she another one over there, with the white boys? So they they all in the same situation, the same scenario. FKA Twigs is headed back to the big screen, and this time she's stepping into the role of one of the most groundbreaking entertainers in history. According to Variety, the singer-songwriter has officially signed to portray Josephine Baker in an upcoming biopic by Mamuna Decor. I guess I said that right. The film is being backed by, oh my goodness, Studio Canal, with production reportedly set to begin this fall. The project has also received support from Baker's family. Well, that's always good, including her son, Jean-Claude Bouillon Baker and Brian Bouillon Baker. Wonder how old they are, because, Baker became a global sensation after moving to France in 1920s, eventually making history as the first Black woman to star in major motion pictures with 1927's Siren of the Tropics. Beyond entertainment, she also worked with the French resistance during World War II and later became prominent civil rights activist. Okay, now, Miss FKA, we're going to need you to represent properly. Twigs reportedly called Baker's life a legacy, such an inspiration, adding that the film would explore her fight, love, losses, talent, and heroism. The casting's news arrives as Twig continues expanding her acting resume. In recent years, she's appeared in projects including The Crow and Mother Mary. I've not seen either one of these things. You said this first comment, Lynn Whitfield already did what we needed to be done. Not for this next generation. Stop doing that. Yes, Lynn Whitfield did a great job, as Josephine Baker, but it's a new generation of people who didn't see that one. So can we stop? I'm looking forward to it, actually. Hopefully the story is told well. Like I said, I don't know anything about her acting skills, but I have heard her name a lot. Like I said, she's on all the red carpets. And I also feel like this could possibly be the role that takes her to the next level. I think, she has a lot in common with Josephine Baker. I think playing this role, might give her some education that she didn't have. And unlike the lady who's stuck on the Lynn Whitfield version, this might introduce Josephine Baker, her talent, her skill, the things that she went through, here performing in the United States versus performing in Europe. And, it's a story I feel like that definitely, needs to be retold in a way that, for a next generation. So I don't want to be stuck on that. I did enjoy the I did enjoy the Lynn Whitfield version, and I know of FKA Twigs, but I don't know enough about her for it to influence, my, how sometimes when the performer, the actor is known for something else, as like a Janet Jackson or a Halle Berry playing, although Halle Berry did a great job to me playing Dorothy Dandridge, sometimes their stardom gets a little bit in the way. So I wouldn't be affected by that necessarily. So I'm looking forward to the story. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian Flower. You hope the actress studies Miss Baker, plus writing needs to be on point. I agree. That's what I said. I hope the writing is really good. And if done right, like I said, this could be groundbreaking for her. This could be this movie that takes her to the next level, because her name been in the scene for a bit, but for me, it's only been like which white boy she was attached to. I know she used to date that boy from Twilight, and she got another one on her arm, but so did Josephine Baker, so she's not far off. And yeah, like I said, I agree with Lotus Egyptian Flower. I hope it's a good story, and I'll be checking for it, because I love that story of Josephine Baker. And the opportunity, like I said, to reintroduce it to this next generation. So we keep our eyes open. They just getting into production. It'll probably be next year, before we really get into it. Okay, so let me stop sharing for a second, because it's the Breakfast Club, and I want to be careful about how I tell the story. So Miss Cheyenne Bryant, this lady been in the media lately. They've been talking about her because she went on Joe Biden's podcast and says she's not licensed, and everybody's been questioning her because she's been selling herself as this therapist, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She has her doctorate, so people with a doctorate get to call themselves doctor. That's, I guess, the whole point of getting your degree. Her license, on the other hand, is something that's, been called to question. So I never heard of Cheyenne Bryant until she showed up over on Cam Newton's couch. That was the first time, I seen her, and she, was throwing around this term high value man and high value woman. And, she got this whole thing about him spreading great babies and having broken homes. And ever since she came on his platform, she obliterated him, which, all you need is a minuscule amount of intellect in order to obliterate Cam. That wasn't it. She's pretty, she's charismatic. But that was my first time, hearing about her. The questions is coming in. Does she have a doctorate because the school's accreditation before she graduated? Yeah, no, but I feel like she may have studied other places. She's going to talk about that. I know, like I said, it was fun watching her obliterate Cam Newton, but at the end of that interview, he asked her, was 50 Cent high value? And she said 50 Cent was a great man, and I was done with listening to anything she has to say. So she is going to explain, about what happened with her licensure. She was on Joe Budden acting like she chose not to have a license because she can make more money. I guess the controversy is her referring to herself as a therapist. She's fancy with the footwork, calling yourself a coach. I feel like, get help, I guess, any way you can get it. But the whole not having a license thing, I came across, because when you don't have a license, there's nobody to hold you accountable. So she was associated with 16 and pregnant. Yes, that's a psychologist on that show alleged. Well, she's not a psychology, but she said she's an expert in psychology. So like I said, she's fancy with the verbiage and how she says things, but she's over here on the Breakfast Club. She says she ain't gonna say it no more. She tired of y'all, criticizing her, but she was the one that came over here and said she didn't have a license. So she ain't like the response, and now, she wants us to stop asking her about it. So let's hear what she got to say.
doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online.
Mm-hmm.
How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit. Because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, you know, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no, because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time. And I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up.
They are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless.
No, that's fine. And it's not even that there's no records that I don't. The school had a third party that carried the records only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me. It's any student that attended Argosy. But again, it doesn't affect me, because if I chose to go get a license as an LMFT, I have my master's in marriage and child therapist. I have my hours. I can just take that and say, hey, let me submit these for licensure. And I want to go sit for my exam, and I'll have to do a study. I don't need a doctorate in counseling psychology to go get licensed as a therapist. That's what we're all missing.
I mean, I hate when people do a lot of talking and don't say nothing. I'm going to start there. Also, so Elsid, I guess, she may or may not, we don't know. She said all that to say she may or may not have a doctorate or certified for any of these things. What we know is that she doesn't have a license. And now that school closed down, and there's people who are out of their money, because she says she graduated from the program before the shutdown happened. But there's people who didn't receive their transcripts, and they are out of money. She did say the school, and I'll look it up in a second. She did say the school, but the schools did shut down. My school shut down. My college shut down, and I graduated from college in 92. Now, fast forward to 2015, 2016, maybe even later, like 2019, because it was right before I ended up leaving. But the school I was teaching at, I was teaching cosmetology, but it was at a technical school, and they were going for accreditation, as a university. So there was this whole process that we we had to go through in order for them to become accredited. Not for the cosmetology program because we work on hours, but they, it was a technical school. So, they had nursing and welding and electrical, they had all these other programs within the school. So I had to provide my transcripts. When I went to go to look for my transcripts, the school was no longer there. When the school closed, the students that were there, they transferred them to another school in order to get records. Long story short, I feel like I had to go through the state. There was a process for me to get my transcripts. It wasn't a hard process. You send your money, because after so many years, she's right about that. It was damn near 30 years. So after so many years, I had to pay for the transcripts. And they sent them to me. So I have access to them, even though the school is no longer there. So I don't know what she's talking about. But your transcripts are held by the state, I'm pretty sure. School shutting down and losing accreditation are two different things. Morris Brown shut down, but the degrees are still valid. That's what I said, Elsie, with my own personal situation. The school shut down, but if they lost their accreditation after she already graduated, then her credentials should be registered with the state. So I don't know. This lady do a lot of talking and trying to use degrees and things to make herself sound, like a doctor of psychology. And she keeps calling herself a psychology expert. We don't have any evidence of that because she can't provide the paperwork. But, and she does a lot of sitting down with like Cam Newton and Joe Budden and does this thing. She's talks about relationships and, how her drug dealer daddy, how she idolized him and such. So I don't really buy into what Cheyenne be saying about marriages and relationships. She's never been married. She only gets engaged. I know she doesn't seem to be an expert over there either. She's just pretty, like I said, charismatic, and she's well-spoken. So, if you're less intelligent then, and it don't take like we all sitting here like this don't sound right. So you would have to be somewhat unintelligent or not so smart in order to fall for whatever it is she's saying. The school part is not confusing. If she took the class and had to pay for the course, even if they shut down, there would be no refund unless you're in the midst of class. Right. She says she was done. All she needs is transcripts. Those are available to her. There's a channel, there's a process that you got to go through, but oh my God. What you say? She talks that on the street and it won't pass. Yeah. The streets love her, I suppose. Oh my God. Good morning, Mo. Welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you in a long time. Girl, we be over here having a good little kiki in the morning. Good to see you, Mo. She did not get her degree before the accreditation was removed from the school. Clearly she didn't, because if she did, she would be able to get her transcripts. All I'm saying is I personally have been through the process and it wasn't that hard. All I had to do was, send my call the school, the new school, that the program was run through. They gave me the website to go to, went to the website, filled out my information, and within a week, I received my transcripts. They don't send them via email. They sent them directly to me. You've heard of schools holding your transcripts if you owe money. Well, that's different. She's not saying that she owes money. And I've never in my life heard you can get a refund. Who told her that? The school is closed. You can get a refund, but if we give you a refund, then your courses, none of your education counts for anything. I've never heard that before. Good morning, High Vibe. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, she was doing a lot of talking. So at the end of the day, she says she's not answering it anymore. She's tired of y'all asking. The first person I said it, I heard say, is she even a doctor, was Corey Holcomb. And I refused to listen to anything he had to say. But, Cheyenne talked a good game, and she said she's going to be making her money. She was on Joe Budden saying that basically there's nobody that she has to be held accountable to. as far as being a licensed, she's a pretty Umar Johnson. That's a good description of her. She's definitely kind of comparative to him, except she's not ugly yet and she's a girl. I have to have a license in order to perform my services. And that's because I have to be held accountable. So if I mess up and somebody gets hurt based on, what mixing chemicals or any of the things that I do in my day to day, there's a state board that holds me accountable. I have to have proper sanitation so that I'm not spreading disease. There's steps to this. So she's saying that she's not being held accountable to anyone. And she basically said, and this is on the Joe Budden podcast, she said, I can be licensed. And then if you come to me, I don't know how she go get a license without any of her transcripts. She said that prevented her from getting a job. If you come to me as a therapist, then the only difference between being licensed and not being licensed is that I have to diagnose you with something. And if you are making progress, in order for me to keep billing insurance, then I have to basically keep saying that there's something wrong with you. And I'm like, girl, you talk about two different things. All of this fancy talking. If I want a therapist, however I'm paying for it, I need to know that there's some accountability somewhere. It don't have nothing to do with my insurance and how I'm being billed. I don't think therapy is there for that. Like, when you're talking about a certain type of program based on other things, mental health things, and they say you have to be assigned to this therapist for however many months you're assigned to the therapist. Even when the program is over, they always direct you to other therapists and let you know that that's an option for you to continue. Not that you're healed, it's that your job is done here in this program. So Miss Cheyenne does a lot of fancy talking, but anybody with any kind of intelligence can know she's talking, street shit, pimp shit. And, I've been in the streets long enough to know pimp shit when I hear it. Not in the streets, but maybe adjacent. Maybe I'm adjacent to some street people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, anyway, let me move along. Homeless and strung out. Oh, this is something that Egyptian Lotus Flower said. What'd she say? Oh, y'all said Dr. Umar is looking homeless and strung out. I never understood, the allegiance to him either, but the manosphere always needs to be lied to. That's the difference between the manosphere and us. We want to get down to the business, and the manosphere likes to be lied to, especially when it's, catering to their ignorance. Oh, what'd you say, Habad? You said her rhetoric is dangerous. I agree. She's basically telling Black people you can't trust licensed professionals. This is insane, but she's trustworthy. Why do I trust her? Exactly. This is an example, I think, too, of pretty privilege. How you let somebody come over here and run the nonsense on you, because she got on a see-through outfit and, her little cleavage out. And even then, when she was on Cam Newton, I was like, Cam Newton is somebody who is known for having no self-control. And the thing that was going on over there with him, and I'm not like knocking her for how she dressed, but it was just very I feel like she had on this cat suit thing and she was, over here. I was like, what? Or it was a very tight whatever she had on, tight dress, tight cat suit, whatever. Her boobs were sitting up. That was my first time seeing her, and I was like, now who is she now? And like I said, it was very entertaining watching her rip him apart. But a toddler could do that. Even Ray J did it. So, and I mean that with love, but not really. I'm just talking. But yeah, she came over there and did that thing that she does. She sits on a lot of man platforms. I would love to see her sit on a forum with licensed therapists. Lamont, what's his name? He's over there with Joe Budden now. He had a therapist on his show the other day, and she was not down talking this lady at all. She was just telling the importance of how therapy works and why it's important to be held accountable for things. And who is Dr. Rashad? I don't know Dr. Rashad. Unfortunately, people will still seek her services, even though Cheyenne is not doctor of psychology. No, because they will, because they want to be a part of something, the influencer lifestyle. The things that we see, people, it's like an illness. People go out of their way to attach themselves with celebrity, and she's over here trying to sell a book. So people will read her book and then start quoting things, and a lot of times people attend therapy and then they come back like they the therapist, and then they be trying to talk to people with that same verbiage that they got in therapy, and it's irritating. Paul Pierce saw straight through her. That's rough. Um, she's very Jezebel. She got that Jezebel spirit on her. Nowadays, insurance covers mental health, and May is Mental Health Month. She's a scammer. And I feel like your therapist is like anything else, like your hairstylist, your dentist. Your therapist has to be somebody that you feel comfortable with. I think it's very much okay to say, I don't know about this one. You need to seek out someone who you feel comfortable with. That's all I can say. Not just somebody who, you saw on a TV show and you wrote a book. The manosphere is the whiny brothers gather, acting like bros what you say, Tony, ain't the cause of most relationship failures. We're off code when we don't hold our fault when we are wrong. Well, you right about that. And I feel like that's, that can go both ways. But the manosphere is very dangerous. And unfortunately, even though she's a pretty lady, that's well spoken to some extent, she is a part of the manosphere. She caters to it. What they call it, pick me. She's very much pick me. Y'all got a lot to say about Dr. Cheyenne. You need someone who's board certified in case of services. But that's what she's saying, that it's about money. Like, even then when she talks about that, it's to me an untruth. And you need someone who's board certified in case the services aren't up to par. Yeah, but when you just call yourself not a psychologist or a therapist, but an expert in psychology, see with her words. Why are you giving out any honorary doctorate? Somebody said, and I'll have to find the article, but they're saying that they're not allowing you to call yourself doctor. I would never want to walk around calling myself a doctor with no damn honorary doctorate. Like, I'm an honorary gymnast, but I can't flip for shit. So that doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, she has pretty privilege, and her scamming will go far. I said that. It's pretty privilege. They look at her and be like, oh, what did she say? And she talks in a manner. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how niggas talk when they get out of jail? They've been reading books and they be using words and not saying anything. She's like that. Like, for everybody sitting here, because, my subscribers are very smart. And y'all be over here, catching the nonsense before it come out of somebody's mouth good. So it's clearly not going to work on anybody with any type of intelligence. And, that whole spiel that she just gave, it was very matter of fact, talking to the people like, I'm talking to my people, not y'all that are determined to, not, believe me or not like me. It's not that. We don't know you to like you, but we know bullshit when we hear it. And Miss Cheyenne is definitely on bullshit. So, yeah, we won't hear about it anymore. But this lady is not a therapist. And if that's what you need, then this is not where you should seek it. And if you need to be entertained, this lady got a book. So everybody got a book. Kevin been in the news lately. He just came from out of nowhere. Kevin Hart's entertainment company Heartbeat reportedly in full-blown crisis involving layoffs, lawsuits, and stalled projects. I guess it's a possibility. It's hard out here. According to Bloomberg report, Kevin's media company is allegedly facing escalating internal turmoil, including layoffs, stalled projects, executive turnover, and mounting legal and financial pressure. The report describes a breakdown inside the company with alleged repeated staff cuts across multiple departments and growing concerns among remaining employees about the company's future. Some staffers also reportedly believe Kevin has taken a less visible role in the day-to-day operations following a quiet deal with Authentic Brand Group. Sound like he's like, jumping ship to go get his money. Multiple projects have reportedly been delayed or put on indefinite hold as leadership works through restructure and stabilize the business. The situation is future complicated by reported internal legal disputes involving former executives, along with strained relationships tied to previous rounds of layoffs and restructuring. Allegedly, tensions have been fueled by claims that senior executive Jeff Flanagan has encouraged employees to assist with outside ventures connected to his own business interests. Kevin, who's known for keeping his private life and business dealings relatively low profile, has not publicly addressed the report. Sound like whoever was, in charge is over there trying to poach people and move on to do his own thing. And Kevin probably isn't really paying attention because he's focused on his own business. So, your business is going to fall apart if you ain't paying attention. And things are shifting out there. But Kevin just had a roast. I guess it's on Netflix, and it has caused, some controversial conversation. Comedian Lonnie Love and Kev on stage's wife, I don't know how they wrote this, on stage's wife, Melissa Fredericks, seemingly reacts to controversial race jokes in the roast of Kevin Hart. It's exhausting, not edgy. So comedian Lonnie Love on Kev on stage's wife, Melissa Frederick, they said it that way twice, seems to be among those who couldn't fully get into the Netflix event. I haven't watched it, and I don't like roast. I'm not built for roast. I wouldn't want to be roasted, and I don't really like watching them. Much of the criticism centers on several controversial race jokes, including Tony Hinchcliffe's closing line that made a light of George Floyd's death. Yeah, they feel real comfortable. Taking to threads, Melissa wrote, the so-called black jokes are tired and not funny from whites ever. Lonnie then chimed in, adding that she's had to endure those types of white comics on the road in Hollywood. She went on to call the entire situation exhausting, adding, I'm sorry my friends had to endure that for a check, but it's really tight in the industry right now. So is that an excuse? Because it's tight in everybody's industry. Let's see what they're saying over here. I'm going to back out and come back in.
To mention your kids on this roast, but I must say, you did good. They've gotten so big, they now buckle Kevin up in the car seat. It's true, he lost his gig hosting the Academy Awards because of some homophobic tweets, but you'd be homophobic. Kevin, they told me not to mention your kids on this roast, but I'm homophobic too if you were eye level with everyone's cock. He got into a fist fight on a private plane, proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. Always fighting. Homophobic too if you were eye level. Done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe. God bless you, Kevin. God bless this room. And God bless. Done good though, Kevin.
So yeah, he went there and Kevin is sitting up there laughing. I don't like roast. So, and I don't like white comedians or anybody feeling that comfortable telling jokes like that. We're not finna laugh at nothing that we're not about to laugh at nothing that criticizes or makes fun of George Floyd. You said after watching that Netflix special and how he treated his friend, I don't know why anyone would want to work for him. Yeah, because it seems like he's like kind of abandoned ship and went to go focus on his own stuff while the company is doing, and of course I feel like his name being attached to it probably brings more business over there. It sounds like the person he had in charge is like, yeah, let's go. I'm telling y'all that life without Ja ain't ish on. I don't know what y'all got going on over here. It's tight being black. Yeah. Good morning, Pack. It was not funny. And for Kevin to be sitting up there laughing at that is disgusting. I think there was some more. Let me see. There was another one because I was like, dang, every outlet is talking about Kevin and it says 18 jokes cut from the roast. From his sex tape to Vegas cheating scandal. These were cut from the roast. Kevin is one of the few comedians without a single allegation. When he found out about the Me Too movement, he was shocked. He was like, people are saying no to things. Lizzo broke barriers when she danced as a stripper in Hustlers, mostly because they weren't properly enforced. So we telling fat jokes about Lizzo. And that's the thing, like they be talking crap about other people. Like I came here to roast Kevin. I didn't say y'all could roast me. Shane turned down the Radia Comedy Festival because he has integrity and can't go 48 hours without a drink. I mean, I guess, child. I'm not interested in these jokes. I know I won't be watching the Netflix special. Mo, you said you don't like roast. I don't like them. And then, you get up there and they start roasting the guest. So it's just mean. You can't take it back. I would never. My skin is not thick enough for that. The comedian's stage name is Kev on Stage. Oh, that's his name. Is he the same way? Is he the same guy that was at the Republican convention talking about Puerto Rico being a shit country or trash or whatever? Is that him? Because that's what he looks like. Roast to deflect from the lawsuit coverage. I mean, he did, what's his name? He came up there and roasted the hell out of, what's the football player that retired from Tampa? The GOAT, Tom Brady. They roasted Tom Brady. Tom Brady did not like it. Y'all are all here talking about how entertaining Ja is. He is funny. He come over here, he come over here, I guess, for us to lay in on him. Anyway, are y'all watching the roast? I am not. I don't really fool with Kevin Hart like that. Sometimes like his jokes just don't hit. And then I saw him and Cat Williams making up with each other. I don't care about Ja and Cat. Ja. I don't care about Kevin and Cat Williams making up either. So, okay, y'all. This lady is back again. Oh my God. So Thursday we left off with her sitting in court crying about how she peed her pants after this man put her in a chokehold. But, she continued to hang around and even give him his birthday present. Then yesterday we talked about how Cardi B was over here at this foundation and they were hugged up. And here we go again. She not done. She still got something to say.
The way he treated you when you were pregnant, the way he talked to you when you were pregnant.
Let me stop right there, girl. Why are you talking to Cardi B? What did this have to do with you at all? Like, we don't, we all got something to say. I was over here running my mouth, but I didn't at Cardi B or anything. And I didn't make any I don't know. Anyway, Stefan's ex-chef Mila's still going. She posted a video accusing one of his BMs of being a victim of his alleged behavior. Which one she talking about?
The way that the same people that has defended him in this know how he treated you while you were pregnant and how he was to you when you were pregnant will always be something I will never understand. the way he treated you in the delivery room, the way he treated you after the baby, the same person that abused you abused me. And our text messages show how he belittled you, how he spoke to you. I remember one particular night, and you know the night that I'm talking about. That night, it happened to you. That's not my story to tell. Once again, I apologize. And I hope one day you face the music. And that's all I have to say about that.
Who does she want to face the music? She's not saying, it says one of his baby mamas, you know, we know which one she's talking about because this picture just came out with him and Cardi. So you sitting up here talking to us, the public, about, I mean, it seems as though she was directing this at one. You know how he was with you when you were pregnant. You know, somebody who at least, you know, recently had a baby by him. You say Cardi gonna sue her. That's why she didn't say Cardi's name. You know, he got 5 baby mamas in 1 year. So he could have been talking to anybody. But I feel like, you know, these pictures just came out with him and Cardi the other day. So she's in her feelings, especially after she spent the weekend being made a fool of. Everybody pulled up them court documents over the weekend and, you know, clearly, you know, don't believe. Everybody believes that, you know, this man put her in a chokehold, but we also believe this is the kind of behavior that he exhibits, you know, to people in general. So too many clout chasers. Why is she still talking? Was she in the delivery room? She acting like it. She acted like she was in the delivery room. So she apologized and snitching at the same time. And she apologized and then said, I hope you get what you deserve, or whatever she said at the end. So who are you talking about? Who get what they deserve? And like I said, I believe this is 100% fueled by the fact that Cardi B was at his, you know, foundation, whatever. And we were like, Cardi, what are you doing over there? And they were hugged up and you're taking these photos. Now here she is. You know, you went through the same thing that I did. Girl, sit down because we don't want it. We don't want to hear from you. You still mad like the man choked you out and you still over there dancing around and carrying on. It feels like your anger is fueled by the fact that all the other girls up in the crew are still getting the D and he has cut you off. And it got you acting a fool. So, I don't understand why women in general are so attracted to this type of foolishness. And it clearly doesn't have anything to do with money because Cardi got money. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, you know, she just has an unnatural allegiance to losers, like your boy Cat said. Yeah, I was going to end with this today. Let's see. I saw this. This is the doctor that I talked about yesterday. I went ahead and followed him. And he posted this. Let's see. Are we still sharing? I don't think so. These people out here doing way too much. I don't know how I would have handled this. I'm grateful that I don't run into these types of situations because there won't be no film footage of it. I'm just gonna lay somebody the fuck out.
Watch this video and let's talk about it.
Ma'am, don't touch my baby. What is wrong with people? Don't, ma'am.
Can I see her hair?
Ma'am.
Let me see. Hi, baby. Hi.
Back up. Crazy lady. These people crazy.
I'm Dr. Michael H. Ford, and let's talk about what you just saw. She had a baby strapped to her chest. The woman kept advancing. Let me see her hair. And when the mother said, don't touch my baby, the other lady kept advancing. Because the answer goes deeper than bad manners. Touching black hair without permission is not curiosity. It is not a compliment. It is a documented pattern of racial entitlement that researchers have been studying for decades. Arizona State University published a study finding that between 50% and 81% of black girls ages 10 to 14 report having their hair touched without permission. Not once, regularly, consistently. It starts in childhood, strangers reaching out, hands in hair, no permission asked. And it follows Black women and Black girls for the rest of their lives. This video is proof, and here's why it keeps happening. For centuries, Black hair has been treated as a novelty, as something exotic, something different enough from the white standard of beauty that it becomes an object of public fascination rather than a part of a human being that deserves to be left alone. That fascination was never innocent. It was always rooted in the idea that Black bodies and everything attached to them exist for other people's curiosity and consumption. And when that idea goes unchallenged generation after generation, it produces adults who look at a baby and say, let me see her hair, and then keep advancing after being told no. The Crown Act, creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, had to be written into law because Black people were being discriminated against for wearing their natural hair. Think about that. We needed federal legislation just to tell institutions to leave Black hair alone. And still a woman reached for a baby. That mother said, don't touch my baby. She said it clearly. She said it more than once. Black women have been saying, don't touch us for 400 years. The answer has always been the same. Please keep your hands to yourself. That is not a request. That is the bare minimum of human decency. Healing starts with knowing. Follow for more. Watch this video and let's talk about it.
I mean, I feel like that lady was very nice, because the way I would have ran that cracker over with my shopping cart, she would have been underneath the basket. I just do not understand the audacity of somebody coming up and wanting to touch a baby, period. You don't know my baby. You don't know me. You are not. Touch her hair. I feel like she was very nice. Like I said, and she had her camera out. We would have been playing roller derby underneath them daggone shopping carts, whatever store she was in. You say, oh, hell no, don't touch my baby, period. Not the hands, not the feet, not the hair. The baby had a bonnet on, so what do you mean touch her hair? She had on a whole bonnet. So you want me to take the bonnet off and give you the freedom to touch my baby's hair? Whew, she gonna run up on the wrong one and get hurt. Pac, I feel like I would have been the wrong one. And I can speak, from directly experiencing, and I'm sure many of you have too. I have had white people sneak and touch my hair. And there's nothing more weird than being somewhere and having somebody to violate in that way. What'd you say, Lotus? I would have turned into a black bear. If that had happened to my child, her body parts would have been all over the place. There would have been no video evidence, Lotus Egyptian flower. We would have went in and let have. Ain't no way. It's funny. I had, the Karen manager at the salon that I work at. Obviously, I'm the person, because I'm the only black stylist, I'm the person that gets, the directed the black clients, and I'm fine with that because I feel like I'm the right hands for them to be in. But she said the other day, I was blowing this girl's hair out. She's somebody who doesn't ever blow her hair out once a year. She came and got a haircut, and she asked for me to blow it out. And this lady has done this more than once. Walked past, as I'm straightening the hair, and she's like, I just love how, the shrinkage is just so fascinating to me, how the shrinkage, and then, it gets so long after. And I looked at her and I said, you're fascinated by the fact that when you stretch out a coil, it's longer than it is when it's coiled up. I'm not understanding what you're talking about. And so, yeah, the fact that these people feel like, any person feels like they can come, not just touch your hair, but put their hands on your baby is a violation. And I feel like that mother was well within her right to snap the freak off on that lady. It was disrespectful. Even after being told, no, don't touch my baby, she kept coming in like, how are you just going to not acknowledge the fact that I just told you no? So, y'all, be careful out there. Keep your eyes on your babies. And, if you run into one of these disrespectful crackers, feel free to run her over with your grocery cart. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll be back tomorrow at 10:15. And if you're into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'll be live tonight. We're going to discuss what went on, Sunday night in Bravo universe. In the meantime, y'all, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.